It's also going to be a very interesting battle of what arguably, no matter who your favourites are, is the battle of the two best pace bowlers in this year's tournament. One side you have Jeffrey Archer, we're going to call him that from now on, now that Shaun started the trend. Jeffrey Archer against KG Rabada is someone who Shaun knows a thing or two about, and he's certainly been very impressive, but you'll have to turn around and say no surprise there.
Yeah, no surprise. I mean, KG's been such a find for South Africa. He's brilliant in all formats, whether it's test matches, one days, T20s. He's just got that skill, he's got that self-belief, he's just athletic, and he hardly ever gets injured. Just keeps running in, and he's got that ability to bowl some good Yorkers. We saw that power, the extra over.
Extra over.
Yeah, that he managed to think, what's it called?
Super over.
Super over. There you go.
Trying to think what's it
I couldn't pull it out at the brain, but
it is the extra over.
yeah,
right.
Yeah.
It is, but that's what he's got, and that's what he possesses. He seems so calm as well when he does perform at the best level. So no surprise. I think he'll be really happy about the way he's gone. It's almost been 2 for 20, 2 for 20, 2 for 20. He just keeps picking up those wickets and doing the job. So Delhi will be very happy with what he's done so far. And Archer's a real find. I mean, I think in years to come he'll be a fantastic performer. Nice tall, nice action from an injury perspective. It looks like one of those actions that's repeatable and not going to cause too many headaches and stress fractures or anything along those lines. And it'll be very interesting to see how his career takes off. I mean, he's starting. KG's almost peaked at a young age, but Archer's starting to find his wings, and it'll be interesting to see how he flies.
We're going to have some numbers in a moment, but before that, Ajay, I want to get you into his whole mental state. We had Michael Vaughan with us, who was, of course, very unequivocal in saying that I don't care. Whatever squad's been named now, he's going to be in the World Cup. What is going through Jofra's mind at the moment?
Look, he's got an opportunity. He's been picked for England. He's playing against Pakistan. So, you got to make your way through. I mean, I know he's a good player and everybody feels he should be in there. But there is a side that's been playing before he arrived. And they've been doing well. They're at the top of the table. They're world #1 side. So he's probably thinking, look, I have an opportunity to get into that side, but I need to earn it as well. But today, I'm not too sure whether he's thinking about that. Today, he'd probably be thinking about what he needs to do today.
But I think what Archer's done is he's created a name for himself in the T20 format. And very much you can have the likes of guys who perform well in one-day cricket, and test cricket they can struggle. So what we've seen from him is 4 overs. Yes, he come in and bowl an over, bowl 2 overs. But in the one-day format, you do actually have to structure together 5 or 6 overs sometimes, like an extended spell. Can he do that? I think we see a lot of exposure where he plays against the international guys in the Big Bash. He comes to the RPL and plays, and the raw ingredients, he gets plenty of ticks from me from that perspective. But can he take that form into the one-day format, and will it be disruptive for England if they do pick him into the squad? I think those are the questions that they need to ask, and that's why the management have to think about it carefully. If you just went with the fans' favourite and the flavour of the month, in he goes.
Do you think that's the reason why England are being a little cautious about it? Good point.
They want to see. They want to see what he can do against Ireland. And
because one is that one-day game, and two is that what role is he going to play? What happens is sometimes you play for a certain team, and the team decides to play around you, and you look very good. But when sometimes you got to go and fit into another side and play a different kind of role, maybe that's not something that suits you. So they want to see whether he can be part of that team, because you can't have all the players. You could have 5 great bowlers, but they can't be bowling at the top, right? Or they can't all bowl with the new ball. So what role is he going to play? I think the strength that he really has, apart from bowling, that he said, is his batting. I mean, whatever little that we've seen this year, he just hasn't had the opportunity, or maybe Rajasthan doesn't look at him. They haven't used him well. They haven't won games, but there are games that he hasn't even walked out to bat. So batting is something that would probably give him probably a bigger tick to get into that England side rather than bowling, because they've been pretty okay.
Another example for them is Ben Stokes, isn't he? I mean, he was brilliant for Pune, and then all of a sudden he's been thrown into this equation of Rajasthan, and over the last 2 years probably hasn't been at his best. And there you look at a guy, brilliant performer for England, unbelievable for Pune, but now he comes into a new side, hasn't really settled into the role that they require from him. And that's what could happen with Archer. And going into the World Cup just a month away, can you afford to take that risk when you're going in as the favourites and you've got guys who've done the job already? I think that'll be the struggle for them.
Well, these numbers that we promised you in terms of phase-wise bowling for both Jofra Archer and, on the other hand, Kagiso Rabada, And this is what, again, we've identified key overs in a T20 game, and therefore we've now just divided up into power play, middle overs, and death overs. And just have a look at these numbers.
Yeah, when you look at those, you say to yourself, KG, the bit surprising that's his stats up front, because he is a guy who can take wickets up front. But where do you want your guy to come good? Where do you want your gun bowler, you want with all the experience to come good? You want him to be there at the death overs. He's the kind of guy, when you talk about how Dhoni finishes games in the T20 format, there's your man who's got them over the line in the super over, and his death stats are very impressive. Archer, on the other hand, is very impressive up front. With the new ball, he gets the ball to bounce, and then his figures at the back end have been good as well. So I think the middle period, that's where you've got to try and work out. Have England got death bowlers, for example? Have they got guys who bowl up front? Maybe he has to bowl in the middle overs, and that's not really a strength of his. Whereas KG is pretty adaptable.
And he's kept the middle overs very quiet as well with that economy rate.
Yeah, they don't use him too much in the middle, do they? Just the 42 deliveries that we've seen him bowl. Maybe they'll turn to him if they need to pick up a wicket or something along those lines. But they want him to try and strike up front, and then they want him to come good for them and try and close out games at the back end.